Chips and guacamole are very easy to make. Let me show you how so you'll be ready for Super Bowl Sunday. Making your own chips is not that difficult. You'll first want to cut up your tortillas and then fry them up. Okay, so it's not as easy as buying chips at the supermarket, but it's a little satisfying making them on your own. Plus, you get to control the salt content and seasonings. You can season them any way you want, although salt is the most common way to season them. I like using a Ziploc bag and giving it a good shake. Want a healthier option? Bake them in the oven and try to minimize the salt. But let's be real, chips aren't that healthy to begin with, and as long as you don't eat them too often, you'll be fine. But if you were to buy your own, I highly recommend checking these out. I became a fan of these when I first bought them at Costco. It might seem like I'm making a lot. I mean, how much chips can I eat, right? However, I do have plans for the remaining leftover chips. So be sure to check out next week's video, and it'll help explain why I made so many chips here. In this other batch, I'm using some tajin. Again, it's good to experiment with different seasonings. No real reason why I'm using a bowl here, except it sounds and looks kind of cool tossing them like this. And whichever seasoning method you choose, there's no denying that the best pairing you could do with chips is a good guacamole. Guacamole is very easy to make, but it starts with a good avocado and some fresh ingredients. Be sure to pick some good avocados. I like to hold them in my hand and give a very gentle squeeze. They have to give just a little. If it gives too much, you probably have to eat it right there at the supermarket. If it doesn't give in at all, you're better off waiting a few days before cutting. The ones I picked out here are perfect. Well, except for this one. It's a little damaged in the end, but I'll just scoop it out later. They can all be winners, I guess, but it looks like the rest of them were fine. Removing the pit should be easy if the avocado is ripe enough. If it doesn't pop out like this, I can usually just use my finger and it'll pop right off. Being really careful, slice them up with a knife and use a spoon to scoop it out. Let's slice out some green onion. Remove the ends and give it a quick chop. Guacamole isn't guacamole without the cilantro. We'll also be cutting up a lime. For the spice, we're using a serrano pepper. Be sure to chop the pepper nice and fine. For a guacamole, I'm adding some salt, dropping in some pepper, and giving it a good mash. Once you're satisfied with the consistency, let's add in our onion, our cilantro, our serrano peppers, dropping in some lime juice. If you don't want your guacamole to turn dark too quickly, add more lime juice. I felt like it was missing a little bit of color here, so I dropped in some tomato. And there you have it, some freshly made guacamole, some freshly made tortilla chips, and you're ready to enjoy the game.